Hello, guys. Full time at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace 2, Arsenal 2. The winning run ends at 11, just a few from the club record. It is another unbeaten game, 12 games unbeaten now, but not the win we were hoping for. And to be honest, on the balance of play, I think it's difficult to argue that we would have deserved 3 points today. Palace made a very good fist of it. It did look like it was going to follow the kind of archetypal Emery narrative of a poor first half performance, which saw us concede late in the first half, as we have done on a couple of occasions this season. With a turnaround in the second half, we scored a couple of early goals through Xhaka and Aubameyang, but in truth, we never really controlled the second half. Palace came back into it strongly. They got more physical, they got more direct. But we did stand up to most of it pretty well, which makes the nature of the equalising goal, I guess, all the more frustrating. Anyway, to begin at the beginning, what to say? Well, the lineup, I suppose, had a couple of significant things about it. Leno started ahead of Cech, which, with Cech back to fitness, I think means he's now installed as number one. Granit Xhaka had to play at left back again, with no Monreal or Kolasinac, and Ainsley Maitland-Niles seemingly not under consideration despite being back in full training. And, you worried about Xhaka up against Townsend and perhaps Zaha, and maybe we saw why later in the game. In midfield, it was Guendouzi alongside Torreira, I think for the first time. Interesting to see them as a pair. And Aubameyang and Lacazette both started, with Alex Iwobi and Mesut Ozil competing the front four. So, trying to think back now what happened. So they had two very good first half chances. One, Zaha had a shot well deflected onto the post by Mustafi. That was probably his best moment of an otherwise tricky day. And Van Aanholt, I think, put wide after a brilliant move, sort of akin to the kind of flow and team moves we were producing against Leicester. Lacazette had our first big chance off his left foot, but put it wide of the far post. And then Bellerin, after a really nice move down the right hand side, took too long to get the shot away. For me, he should have squared it. He had Aubameyang to his left in acres of space. And ultimately, he's such an effective finisher. When he's in that much space, I think you've got to give him the opportunity. To be fair, Bellerin should still have got the shot away himself. Didn't manage it. So, they eventually took the lead shortly before half-time. A penalty. A little bit feeble from Leno, I thought. Poor punch from him. I know he's under pressure. Sometimes, maybe in the Bundesliga, he would get a free kick in that situation. He didn't in this. It was a weak punch. And Mustafi dove in completely unnecessarily to concede the penalty. I have no idea what he was thinking. Selhurst Park has not been a happy hunting ground for him, and it was not today. And a good penalty for Milivojevic. I mean, Leno couldn't really get particularly close to it. Then, half-time, we came out the blocks very different, much more aggressive, and crucially, scoring goals. A fantastic free kick from Xhaka. Really excellent strike, and he does seem very effective from range this season. I mean, he must have a few goals already, so he's sort of adding that string to his bow, and his delivery from corners has been decent too, so good to see that that's bearing some fruit. And then the goal that puts 2 on ahead, I think also from a Xhaka corner. Bit controversial. Lacazette went up with the hand. It's actually difficult to see how much contact his hand made with it, or if any. The ball then came off Ayew and came to Aubameyang at the far post. That poacher's instinct, that half yard of pace, he was in there and it just about went over the line. 2-1, and you're suddenly thinking, here we go, this is it, Arsenal producing the second half magic. Well, not quite. We sort of sat off a bit, Palace. We struggled to control possession. Mesut Ozil was withdrawn. He wasn't happy about it. I thought it was probably the right change, or right idea to bring him off. He hadn't had a great game. And Palace had brought on the likes of Sorloth, gone more physical. Welbeck made sense in some respects. But I just think our midfield didn't really do enough to control the game. And we did threaten on the counter-attack a couple of times. And one of the times we threatened on the counter-attack led directly to the equalising goal. Lacazette playing a very loose pass towards Torreira that was intercepted. They sprinted up the other end, Palace. And I thought Mustafi should have brought down Sorloth. He wasn't on a booking. He should have just taken the booking, taken him out, ended the move then and there. A bit like Guendouzi did in the 90th minute. Sometimes you just need to be cynical in that situation. He didn't. Zaha went one-on-one with Xhaka. And I must say, first time I saw it, I thought, well, that's as clear a penalty as you get. He just sort of did a couple of step overs, went past him and seemed to go over his thigh. On reflection, on replay, it is a dive, but I don't really blame the referee too much in that circumstance. I mean, without the assistance of VAR, it did look like a penalty in real time to me. As it is, Zaha sort of makes it look less like a penalty than it was. He sort of dives over Xhaka's leg when it's kind of there for him to run into. Anyway, another good penalty, 2-2. And that was it. Listen, I think it would be churlish to be too frustrated, too disappointed after the run we've been on with a point from Crystal Palace. We move on. All eyes will be on Liverpool next week, but we've got a Capital One Cup tie before then. So I'll speak to you after that. Cheers. Bye-bye.